ingredients better pizza, better than a sandwich, Papa John's.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
If you missed the J-Rod experience, then you missed this.
What is the juice you think going to be in Vegas this year? You know, we've got COVID. We're dealing with that. How are the casinos working all this?
It's really something that I don't think we can answer at this point in time. You know, obviously the handle has been down in Nevada. The traveling has been down in Nevada. But, you know, some people in some circles, they're not going to cancel their trips to Vegas because they've been waiting all year for something like this. And, you know, I mean, not to get into COVID politics or anything like that. You know, some people just want to go to Vegas.
J-Rod experience every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. right here at OnSiteRadio.com.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
Welcome back to the Squared Circle Digest. To text the show, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's your host, Sean Stanley.
Bringing you back in high atop Inner Miami CF Stadium. I'm Sean Stanley. Producing as always, Abel does a great job. Making me sound a lot better than I should. Unfortunately, you can't do a lot by making me look better. That is, unfortunately, you're stuck with that on YouTube and Twitch if that's what you're putting yourself through. You can text us, 844-416-8123. Call us at 888-441-4623. And don't forget, you can reach out to us on Podbean as well, YouTube chat as well. So anywhere you want to chat or get in on the conversation, we'll try to keep up with you here at OnSideRadio.com. Right now, I'm still working on some of the camera. I want to get into the AEW heavyweight title match, okay? I waited up, and the match did not disappoint, okay? It was violent. It was bloody. It was what I thought an exploding barbed wire death match was going to be. I think where some of it might have went wrong, again, there was one missed explosion when they went outside the ring, if you watched it. When they went outside the ring and you saw it was I think there was 2 pieces of wood set up with the barbed wire on them. They went through the middle part of it. The back one went off. The front one did not. But again, you're working with pyro. I don't know. It's not like this is something you can test. And even if you test it, you've got to reset it up, and it may not work the same way again. So then the match goes off. And let me tell you, this match, I thought, delivered. Minus, I thought the run-in went a little bit too long with Gallows and Anderson. And at the end, of course, we all know now, the explosion did not go off. I thought this was the way for them to kind of send Moxley off for the birth of his baby. I'm not sure how much longer Renee has on carrying the child. I believe it's going to be due here soon, probably within the next month or possibly 2. But Moxley has carried this company as the champion for a long time. So maybe much needed rest. And then you bring him back in about a month, leave him off TV for a little bit. That explosion did not happen. So what I thought was the interesting part on all of this was once it did not go off, Jon Moxley went right on the microphone at the time and said that Omega was one tough SOB, but he couldn't build a exploding bomb for the ring worth a crap. Now, I'm not sure if Moxley went on his own there, which has turned into, of course, now, Tony Khan's having to answer this. And I believe this is either in the presser right after or a podcast the next day. This was his response to the thing. He says, the plans we saw in Cran and all through the match, we saw it. It looked very cool, and it's a very deadly, painful match. But at the end, I mean, I don't know what people really wanted. Unless you actually wanted us to explode the guys at the end, there's only so much you can do. So I go back to, was the ending a botch? Or was it what was planned, but then they saw the reaction, and now they can build off of it? Because this reaction was, whether you want to say, you know, it was bad, I don't think it is, because everybody's talking about AEW Revolution the next day. Maybe people that weren't even going to even think about watching it end up eyes on the product, right? And now you have your new AEW Elevation coming up. I believe that's starting Monday. The way AEW kind of went, again, Moxley, I'm not sure if that was part of the plan or he just grabbed the mic and talked about it. Eddie Kingston, unfortunately, was still selling the bomb. I don't know, again, half of what you see, nothing of what you hear. That's what you believe in pro wrestling, okay? Half of what you see, nothing that you hear. The best way to watch wrestling. Now, Wednesday night rolls around. Moxley and Kingston hanging out, cut the promo, I thought, very well, kind of, I guess, saving, or if you think saving, I'm not sure. Again, the line's kind of blurry here on what AEW wanted to do, because honestly, did you think they were going to blow up Moxley? Did you think that was going to be the ending? I mean, are we going to do the WWE, let's burn Bray Wyatt? Let's burn the Fiend in the middle of the ring? Are we going to blow up Moxley in the middle of the ring, and then you send Eddie Kingston runs down to cover him, so you're going to blow up 2 superstars in the ring? Again, I'm going off his last sentence. I don't know what people really wanted. Unless you actually wanted us to explode the guys at the end, there's only so much you can do. The reaction has been there. Kingston looks like a hero, right? He ran, he jumped on his friend who, by the way, they were trying to kill each other 2 months back. Now he's coming out to save him. Kenny Omega says in their promo later on in the same night. No. We weren't giving you guys the satisfaction of John Moxley, you being sent out through the explosion, and B, Eddie Kingston, you getting the royal ending as far as becoming a friend with John Moxley by trying to put yourself over him as everything was going down. And then, of course, Eddie Kingston comes out and the fight begins. But here, I wanted you to think about this. Let's go back here. Remember when Matt Sydal debuted and he slipped off the top turnbuckle? AEW went back, Michael Nakazawa. Being the Elite, I think it was, where he's putting the baby oil on the top turnbuckle on the ropes there, right? What if Omega did build the proper, explosive device, or whatever you want to call it? What if Kingston came out, removed it, knowing that it wasn't going to explode, and now came down to save Moxley to make it look like he's saving his friend, to gain his trust? The only one that would know, right, would be Kingston at this point. And again, they've gone a different way. I believe that they have at this point. But what if that was the way they went with it? Eddie Kingston knows the explosive device is not going to go off, so I'm going to throw myself on my buddy. I'll make him believe that I was there. Now we become drinking buddies again. Do that for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. And then you get rid of him, right? You turn on him. They could have went a few different directions on this. But a lot of this is set up, to me, by the way AEW does a lot of their booking. They book small. Doesn't look like a lot of detail into matches to make you start thinking, right? For instance, when Lee Johnson, when he wins the match, right, he goes and he thanks everybody, kind of leaves QT off, right? QT didn't go all ballistic and throw his arms in the air or anything else. He just had that funny look on his face. Like, what about me? You didn't even think about me. But it was just a look. Things you had to pick up on. That's what AEW does through their programming. They are laying it out and almost seeing, to me, the fans react to something, and they have left it open enough to where, okay, we can circle back and make that work. Or we can continue doing the path that we have set for this angle. They don't lock themselves in, which I've seen WWE do many times. They're not locked in on a lot of stuff, right? Because they're throwing little subtle hints. If QT does that and then next week they come back out and like, oh, you know what, we decided not to do it. It was just a reaction. Like, oh, you know what, I'm over it. Move on. Now they have extended that storyline to where he said he was over it, but now you're seeing difference, right? Now actions are starting to dictate what QT Marshall is doing. So with the exploding ballroom mat, they've taken something. They brought more eyes to them. And they need to take, again, you can look at it as a negative if you want. But if you start looking back at what Tony Khan said, was there ever really going to be? Everybody thought the ring was going to blow up when it hit, right, the 30-minute mark. But when I read what Tony Khan said right here, it looked very cool. It's a very deadly, painful match. But at the end, I don't know what people really wanted. Unless you actually thought we were going to explode the guys at the end, there's only so much you can do. So was it a botch? Or does this go back to the expectations of what everybody thought the match was going to be? We're going to see the ring blow up. We're going to see Moxley blow up, right? An expectation. When we come back, we're going to dive into WWE. What are they doing? Leading into WrestleMania. I think we're April 10th, 11th. NXT made some announcements. We're going to dive into that. Saturdays, 8 a.m., baseball fans can go deep in the count with Alex Aguirre, Christian Chase. That was a show right before me. Catch a show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues every Saturday, 8 a.m. Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep in the Count exclusively on OnSideRadio.com.
Listen to OnSideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader.
She's kind of a big deal. Some people like to say it's only because of how she looks. She sticks her tongue out a lot. But there's just something about her that makes people do crazy things. Like get tattoos of her face. Or wait in line for hours just to say hi. Lil Bub is a 2-year-old cat. An Instagram celebrity with a following bigger than some 90s television stars. And it all started because she was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Lil Bub, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Hey, is that a faucet running?
Nope, that's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest.
It is?
Yeah, forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact...
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
How do trees clean the air?
They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yep, but the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If you missed 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh,
LSU ain't gonna win no games. They're gonna give up 554 every game. Yeah, Blake Baker's gone. They're gonna give up 554 every game. Oh yeah, Blake Baker's gone. Oh yes, there is a party, baby. Oh God, yes.
He's gone.
He's out.
It happened.
Oh, I'm so relieved. I'm so happy. It's the best news to come out of Canesville in ages.
4th and 20, weekday mornings from 6 to 8 right here on OnSideRadio.com.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to the Squared Circle Digest. To text the show, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's your host, Sean Stanley.
Bringing you back in. Discuss some AEW Revolution. Check it out on the podcast. Any podcasting platform. Search Squared Circle Digest. I want to dive into a little bit of the WWE and what's going on there. When you look at and you see the landscape heading into WrestleMania. We got next Sunday's Fastlane, everybody. Fastlane on Peacock. Yes! I'm excited because now I have X1. Comcast Xfinity X1. I get Peacock for free. I can stream WWE Network for free. And also, if you sign up with the Peacock now, I think it's $4.99 is the premium. So you save $5. This is great for, right? Anybody that had WWE Network? But for everything that's so great, I look at what's happening right now. We're leading into WrestleMania. This is the Super Bowl of wrestling, right? This is 2 nights of pro wrestling action from WWE, which, by the way, now, because William Regal made the great announcement, 4 nights of WWE action because there's going to be 2 nights of WWE NXT coming at you as well. Look at this. Hey, why keep it at 2 nights when you can give you 4 nights? Got to tell you, WWE, the 3 nights we're getting right now through the week, not superb. Now you're going to have those 3 nights, and you also have to add a WrestleMania as well. So we'll have to see what they do. But here's some of the stuff. I want to go over the matches that at least looked confirmed. We know it's Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, and the rest are not confirmed. And I know Vince McMahon got his panties all up in a ruffle over leaks coming out about possible stuff heading into WrestleMania. I mean, anybody that watches WWE programming or has been watching WWE programming, Vince McMahon, you kind of give us the formula of where it's going. Right? If you're paying attention to the product, which you would probably want your fans to do, you can kind of see where a lot of this is leading to. I think you should be happy that, look, I'm not saying that stuff needs to be leaked all the time, but I don't think you had to have anything leaked to you to know that Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble meant she was going to verse Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. You don't have to be a brain scientist for that to work. And now with Asuka with the concussions, what's going to happen with the Raw title? Will she be cleared? Because to be honest, I think at Fastlane it was supposed to be Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Charlotte Flair gets the title, and then Rhea Ripley would debut at WrestleMania and probably win the Raw Women's Championship to return. Charlotte can return the favor of Rhea dropping the NXT title to her. And I'm sorry I'm pointing at you. It's not nice of me. I apologize. And you look at Lashley McIntyre, right? I mean, we got to look at it and say that's probably where this is leading. Although supposedly there's going to do some kind of match at Fastlane between Sheamus and McIntyre, the winner moving on to WrestleMania. The winner's got to be McIntyre. Sheamus versus Lashley would make no sense after all the build that we've done here. Again, if your fans are paying attention, you see this building. And we don't have to be brain scientists to see it. Randy Orton versus The Fiend, right? That's got to go to WrestleMania. I'm hoping they don't do it at Fastlane. That would just be all this build-up to do it at a Fastlane pay-per-view with WrestleMania weeks away. So those are the matches that, again, you're looking at. The Raw Women's title, I don't know where they're going to go with that. It's going to be interesting. Asuka, right now, she's on the shelf. We'll have to see if she gets off that shelf. Now, let's look at some of the other matches. Reigns versus Edge. Thought that was going to be a lock. Daniel Bryan has thrown himself into this now. He will take on Roman Reigns at the Fastlane pay-per-view. And so you can set up 3 different possibilities, right? It can go Reigns versus Edge, which before everything went down, I was like, okay, that's the winner. Daniel Bryan versus Edge, highly unlikely. Or we now throw a triple threat, Reigns versus Bryan versus Edge, which now I'm starting to think is the clubhouse leader. After last night watching SmackDown, it makes no sense with what Daniel Bryan did by laying out Edge at the end to somehow not include him into this match. And then also, if Edge beats Jey Uso next week, he's the enforcer at Fastlane Sunday night. So you can see some trickery there as well. And then that can lead to the triple threat. So some form of those matches you're going to see at WrestleMania. Again, it's 2 nights. I'm not sure why they don't use, instead of doing 2 nights of NXT and 2 nights of WWE, WrestleMania, probably should have combined some of the NXT matches into this WrestleMania card and just made it some bigger extravaganza than what it already is going to be. I know they're trying to get 45,000 people in there, but again, 2 nights of WWE NXT, 2 nights of WrestleMania, 4 nights of wrestling, not to count Raw and SmackDown. So now you have 6 nights of wrestling coming from the WWE, and we've seen what they've done with the 3 nights already. Not looking for it to be too great of a week of wrestling. Big E, Apollo, is that heading for Fastlane or is that heading for WrestleMania? I'm hoping WrestleMania because I would like to see that. Rollins, Cesaro, would not mind to see that. The Raw tag titles right now, it looks like Hurt Business battling. The Hurt Business are the tag team champions. They're battling with New Day. I think that's going to be this on Raw this week. Can they do something and maybe build that back up? Maybe Kofi and Cruz can get Creed can get a win at WrestleMania. You got Rude and Ziggler, your SmackDown tag titles. They're battling the Street Profits right now. Do the Street Profits win at Fastlane? You start setting up something else for the tag team titles, or do you wait and keep them off until WrestleMania and then give the titles to the Street Profits there? Riddle, he's battling Ali right now. And then, like I said, the women's tag titles, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler right now, they're doing something with Belair and Banks, which, again, let's let some of the other women on the roster get some time. I don't know what you're trying to keep built. Why can't you have Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks if they're going to team up, battle another tag team? I get it. Last night they took on Tamina and Natalya, which was good to see, but you still throw the women's tag team champions into the mix. Why? You have the SmackDown Women's Championship already there. That's going to be defended at WrestleMania. Makes no sense to me. You've tied up the women's tag team titles in a angle that's going nowhere for you. There's no payoff for this. And Asuka, as I said, has a concussion. So again, where do you go with that? Does she drop the title at Fastlane? You do a match, Charlotte Flair versus somebody else, and you have the winner become the Raw's Women's Champion? Do you do Rhea Ripley there? Again, here's some of the other things that you have to look at as well. What surprises could happen at WrestleMania? Could there be any surprises showing up? Becky Lynch, is that a possibility? She's been kind of laying low lately. I know she just had the baby in December. I believe it was November, December. When it rolls around to April, is that enough time for her to possibly demand to return? Does that change the title scene at WrestleMania? It's going to be interesting because they have the Fastlane pay-per-view, which so far, I don't know what the matches are for the pay-per-view right now, other than I think McIntyre Sheamus is probably going to be on it. Apollo Crews versus Big E might be on it, maybe a basic match, and then they do something where at WrestleMania it turns into a bigger match opportunity for the Intercontinental title. So again, a lot of unknowns heading into WrestleMania. Usually WrestleMania, it's pretty clear, the path. You can see where they're trying to get to. Other than the heavyweight titles, and again, the SmackDown, the Universal title at the moment, not sure where that one's heading. So it will be interesting. When we come back, it's going to be some crosstalk. David Dwork, Chirping the Cats Radio. The Cats are on fire. And we'll talk about them next right here on OnSideRadio.com.
For the Squared Circle Digest on all podcasting platforms, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast.
She's kind of a big deal. Some people like to say it's only because of how she looks. She sticks her tongue out a lot. But there's just something about her that makes people do crazy things, like get tattoos of her face, or wait in line for hours just to say hi. Lil Bub is a 2-year-old cat, an Instagram celebrity with a following bigger than some 90s television stars. And it all started because she was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Lil Bub, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. When you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org to learn more.
Start your morning every morning at 8 a.m. with 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh. The boys cover all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. 4th and 20, 8 to 10 a.m., only at OnSideRadio.com.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. When you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org to learn more.
These are unprecedented times. challenging how the YMCA works to strengthen community as we have for nearly 170 years. But we've always found ways to help people and communities in times of crisis. Right now, Ys across the country are providing emergency childcare, shelter, food programs, and outreach to seniors. But we can't do it alone. Whether you're connected to the Y or have a fond Y memory, we need you to stay with us. Reach out to your local Y today and stay with us for a better us.
Welcome back to the Squared Circle Digest. To call the show, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Here's your host, Sean Stanley.
Bringing you back in, it is Squared Circle Digest. Don't forget, check out the podcast if you missed anything, any podcasting platform. And don't forget now, Onside Radio live on YouTube and Twitch. Following me is, of course, David Dwork and Chirping the Cats Radio. And David, the Cats keep winning, right? I mean, they lost once this week, but down 4-1, third period. I almost made the same mistake and cut it off, but I said, nope, you're not going to get me this time. And I sat there and I watched the win.
So you did not change the channel.
I did not change the channel this time.
That.
Last time I did, I learned.
There you go. This team's a little different, right? Like, and even like when I was watching it at home and they went down 4-1, it was like, okay, shit, this sucks, but I'm certainly not turning it off.
Yeah.
Like it was just a feeling like, all right, now they have even more work to do. And then they get that first goal and you almost feel like, okay, here it comes.
Yeah, the floodgates open after.
Oh, man.
Now here's my question, because again, I'm very new to hockey and very casual hockey fan.
You're coming along nicely.
But they look like they couldn't do anything for 2 periods. They were getting shots, but they looked like Columbus had control of the game. So what changes all of a sudden after that first goal? Because after that, it just seemed like it was, I don't know if it was an attack or they just opened something up or they found something, but it just seemed like the whole game, watching it, changed.
Yeah, I guess the easiest way to put it in terms of like other sports is just momentum. Like the momentum changed. What that meant in terms of the game is the Panthers started possessing the puck a lot more. They were winning the speed battles. They weren't getting caught up in battles on the boards. It was a very fluid game, which is when they're at their best. And yeah, they just turned it on. Like for whatever reason in hockey, you could have a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning that is a juggernaut of a hockey team that rolls over everybody, and then they go and they lose to the Detroit Red Wings by 2 or 3 goals, whatever it was the other night. So hockey's kind of funny like that. Like you could be the New England Patriots and you can still lose to the 2-win Miami Dolphins. Mm-hmm. It happens.
Yeah.
So the Panthers they just have all that ability and all that firepower that they can kind of overcome a crappy game like they did in Columbus.
And it looks like every line can score. Like it's not like, I mean, again, I don't know if every team is this way or maybe the good teams are this way, but I don't feel like, okay, that team's going off or that line's going off. Now we're going to kind of just play defense or I feel like every line now can score. Whereas before, and again, watching hockey the way I do, I don't understand everything. It felt like only our top 2 lines were scoring lines in previous years. And then you had the other line just kind of, all right, let's give them their break so we can get the scorers back out.
Yeah, a big thing this year is the depth. That's been something that we've been preaching from day one is just how deep this team is. And when they're at their best, like at the end of the game in Columbus, you can see all 4 lines. They're just rolling right through. You don't really have to double shift anybody. I mean, sometimes when you fall behind, Coach Quenneville, he'll mix up the lines a bit. But this team, they've got so many forwards that they can mix and match and move around. They've got guys like Frank Vetrano or Noah Chari who are goal scorers. They've proven that they can put the puck in the net. They can be in the 3rd and 4th line. Yeah. And then you've got guys like Barkov. Huberdeau's having a ridiculous season right now. You got 3 defensemen in their top 7 in team scoring.
Yeah.
And usually that's like, oh, God. That's not the best thing when your defensemen are up there because you're thinking your forwards are struggling. No, not the case at all. They've got defensemen that are just that good.
Yeah. So, and now Huberdeau, Ekblad, Barkov, those guys you're starting to see. Now they've kind of put everything around them. You're starting to see the superstars that I guess everybody thought they were gonna be in a way. Now you're seeing them break out or whatever it is because again it's early in the season.
It's not that early actually. We're almost at the halfway point. It's crazy this season is.
About that, it's only
we're like 1 or 2 games away from the.
It's a sprint
halfway.
this year, not really in them.
Yeah.
And then, drawing a blank. Hornqvist, what has he meant to this team? Because it just seems they were talking about. I was watching on TV the other day, and they're like, you can almost see the attitude change when he comes on the ice in a way.
Yeah, Hornqvist, him and Radko Gudas, I feel like, are like two guys that have really, I don't know if revitalized is the right word to talk about when you talk about the locker room, but they've added just this a sense of like accountability where it's not just you're out there trying to, you're out there playing the game. These guys have brought this attitude to the locker room where everybody is going all out every shift. You're talking about how they're coming back multiple times. The belief is always there. They give up another goal. It's like, oh, shit, we have to work that much harder now. But it's not like, oh, no, we're going to lose.
Yeah. No, 4-1, they were still flying.
Yeah.
It just felt like Columbus, every time they'd fly, Columbus would just kind of chip the puck back away from them or whatever.
They
it just
got
seemed
some
like
lucky bounces, too. Their last 2 goals on Bobrovsky went in off Panther sticks. So
true,
it's not like they weren't getting the bounces. It just finally turned.
One last thing, Bobrovsky. He's the man again now?
Oh, he's never looked as good in a Panther uniform as he has over the last few weeks. He is playing like the guy that they thought they were getting when they signed that big contract. He's consistent. He's not giving up the cheap goals anymore. And, yeah, I mean, it's just even watching the games, like you just get this feeling of, like, security that you didn't get before when Bob was in goal. Like, you're like, okay, they can give up a 2-on-1, or they can give up an outside shot in a power play, and you're not, like, sweating it.
Okay, good deal. What's coming on today?
Today, beautiful morning today. We got a lot to talk about today. I want to talk about, obviously, that road trip that they just came back from, taking 4 out of 5 wins. They're now one of the best road teams in the NHL. I want to dive into the 2 rookies that got some playing time, Grigory Denisenko and Owen Tippett, who's got goals in consecutive games now. Gustav Forsling, the young defenseman they picked up, it looks like he has some communication issues, so I want to get into that. I got the chirp of the week. We'll go around the pond. We'll have a good time.
As we always do, it is Chirping the Cats Radio. It's coming your way next, right here on SideRadio.com.
All righty then.
South Florida provides more live and local sports talk.
This is like rock and roll with no music.
Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
We live in challenging times, and we understand you have questions about how you're going to take care of your family and yourself. Well, you can trust the Publix is doing everything possible to help. Our stores continue to be open. We're busy restocking as quickly as we can. But please remember to think of others as you shop for the week ahead. This will give your friends and neighbors the opportunity to get what they need as well. Our supply chains are strong, deliveries are being made throughout the day, and our associates are here every step of the way. It's not always going to be perfect, but together we'll make it through this. So let's be safe. Let's be calm. Let's be kind. Visit Publix.com for all the latest information.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Listen to OnSideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader. Time to talk all things Florida Panthers with insider David Dwork. It's the ice time you've been waiting for, Panthers fans. Here's your host, David Dwork, with Chirping the Cats Radio.
What up? Good morning, South Florida. Happy fans. It is time. Good morning, Chirping the Cats Radio. We're back. Another Saturday morning coming to you from beautiful Inter Miami CF Stadium. The scoreboards are moving. The sideline boards are. It's cool. The stadium's starting to come to life a little bit as we get closer to MLS season. And look, I'm excited. I love me some football. And apparently, your football is here, according to the scoreboards. Anyway, you came to listen to some hockey, and I am going to provide that for you. So your Florida Panthers, as they're on the ice right now at the BB&T Center, preparing for tonight's game one, I guess you could say, of 2 against the surprising Chicago Blackhawks. Are they still surprising? No, I guess not. But either way,